Why is it such a big deal when a CEO says that if the employees are being targeted, they will relocate them and support them? That was the message from Salesforce CEO Marc Benioff after pledging to relocate workers and their families from Texas after that state's controversial abortion law went into effect. Marc Benioff is the CEO of Salesforce and joins us now with more. Marc, thanks for being with us. This is a really interesting move you've done. So, as we just said, you offered to relocate your employees from Texas because of this new abortion law. Tell me about that decision-making process. What were the factors for you, and why did you do it?
Well, this continues to, occur here at Salesforce. You know, Salesforce is one of the world's largest software companies. We have more than 75,000 employees globally. And we have a constant parade of governors and presidents or other types of politicians who come along who try to interfere with the fundamental human rights of our employees. And when our employees complain, we just say to our employees, well, if you don't like it, we'll move you. You just tell us where you want to move. We have offices all over the world. It's completely up to you. And we've gone through this, of course, in Indiana and North Carolina and Georgia and now Texas. And we'll just give our employees the ability to move if they don't like where they are.
Yeah, so you're saying this is a business decision for you. I see that Salesforce is often ranked among the top companies for employee satisfaction. People like working there. Is it also a political decision for you?
Well, you're right. Salesforce is constantly rated as one of the best places to work in the world. And I think that's probably because they know that we have their back. You know, our employees, we're going to make sure that we always are watching out for them. And that's incredibly important. It doesn't matter what city or state or country that we operate in, employees have the same needs, which is they want to know their employer is going to be there when there's a problem. And in this case, the employees just want to make sure that we're able to support them and help them during a time of crisis. And for many of the employees, they just want to move, and we'll let them go anywhere they want to go.
So, Marc, I want to ask you about one of the potential implications in the wider world. There are a lot of people in our country now who don't feel that we can live together in the same space anymore. I've seen people say, oh, well, the red states just should have their America and blue states their America. Are you concerned at all that what you've done for your employees reinforces that perception that it's impossible for us to live together across these divides in our country?
Well, I really think it's exactly the opposite, which, our employees, of course, are, we have every sexual orientation, we have every race, every gender, and we have to be one big happy family at Salesforce. So, of course, we have people who take every possible position. So this actually came out of that, which is we're trying to support bringing all of our employees together. How do we make them one united family? And the way we do that is when they have some type of an issue or they become uncomfortable in some office, let's say, or in this case, some state, we'll just say to them, well, you're a great executive, you're a great employee, you're a great salesperson, you're a great marketer, you're a great engineer. Why don't you just go and move over here and enjoy your life over here and do a great job? And that gives them the empowerment to go and do that.
So let's talk about business. We're slowly climbing out of this pandemic shutdown and the impact that it's had. You're at Salesforce's yearly conference there, Dreamforce. It kicked off this week. About 1,000 people, I understand, are expected to attend. That's down from, 200,000 a couple of years back. How are things going so far there, and what's it like?
Well, you're right. We've downshifted because we had 150,000 people here 2 years ago. And we got a couple thousand people right now. And we're trying to bring everything back. Look, you've got a situation where we have a lot of our employees are at home still. A lot of employees are also in the office. Some are working in offsites and events like what we have going on right here. We're even building a huge ranch, which is going to be a new corporate training facility. But what we've done is we've built a product called Salesforce Health Cloud 2.0, and we give our employees the ability to test in to this platform. So they can take a test, like everyone here was tested today, and then they get certified. And then you've probably seen like a corporate lanyard. You've worn this probably at every conference you've ever been to, right, Terry?
That's
and
right.
on our lanyard here, you can see there's a QR code, and that directly connects and says, yes, you tested today negative for the virus, you're allowed to be in this program today, and that's a big deal.
Well, let's talk about that, because that has been the big question coming out of the shutdowns and everything. What will work be like? You've said you've been surprised by people's desire to work remotely. So how has your business been impacted because of that desire and your desire to support employees, and where do you see things going with this?
Well, I think that you have a desire for people to come back together, but to come back together safely. I mean, there's an etheric feeling here right now in San Francisco. This conference, this is our first major customer conference. We've already had an employee conference like this. In this situation, you can really see that customers are thirsty. They're thrilled to be back together. They're actually crying when they see each other. And look, we've all been through so much in the last 18 months. We've all lost somebody. We've lost parts of our life. People want to be able to come back in and get things going again, but they want to do it safely, and this is a way to do it.
I want to ask you about one more thing, Mark, and that's the Wall Street Journal had a series of reports on Facebook, which I know you saw, showing that company was fully aware that Instagram, its own internal research showing Instagram had a negative impact on the mental health of teens in particular, and generally failed to police dangerous content like vaccine misinformation. I love this line. You called Facebook the new cigarettes. I think of a lot of these companies as not social media, but in so many instances, anti-social media. Is that problem fixable, or are these things built into the way Facebook and some other social media operates?
Look, every company and every individual today has to ask themselves, what is their highest value? And are they going to create a trusted environment? I think what they're doing specifically is fully unacceptable, and that it must change. I've been saying that, though, for years. And I think that we're at a point right now, and you can see it in the coverage in the Wall Street Journal, the Washington Post, or now the new coverage that you're citing. It really says that this company doesn't really care. They're going to do whatever they want. And yes, they may harm people. They may harm children. And look, well, I don't know. Is the government going to step in? I mean, we haven't seen the government take aggressive action. Clearly, they know that they're harming children. They are saying it themselves in their own internal documentation.
And what would that look like, Congress taking action? Or is this, as you say, a matter of character of individual people in specific offices or at home in specific positions in those companies, stepping forward and living out a better set of values?
Exactly how the government has stepped in before with other types of media, including television, where this is, of course, you remember how primetime got created, which was the idea that there was certain types of content that was not appropriate, or certain times of the day where certain content could not be broadcast. That is really what we're talking about today, where the government needs to step in with these rules and regulations. And they're a little bit late here in really addressing, I think, what is one of the most serious issues in the world. And you can also see how that's played out in key areas such as the pandemic, and how misinformation has impacted us so aggressively, as well as in the political process, and even in climate change. So in major areas in the world, we're seeing social media take these I would say aggressive actions that are maybe altering our society in ways that are probably not in our best interest.
A huge challenge, a problem going forward. Marc Benioff, CEO of Salesforce, thanks so much for talking with us today.
Great to be with you, Terry.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.